hears someone creeping around.
Ah,
shit, it was the girl from the club. He's really starting to fall for her. That is.
Hey guys, my name's Dan, and this reaction comes from Dead Meat. This is As Above, So Below 2024 Kill Count. And we haven't really seen too many found footage horror movies recently from Dead Meat. I certainly haven't watched any, but that doesn't take away from the fact that they kind of get, I don't want to say bad or dull after a while, but there are times in certain horror movies where you are basically forcing a character to carry a camera around just to carry on the story, to where it doesn't really make sense for them to have a camera. But in this movie, it feels like they did it the right way. I mean, we'll get into further what happens there, and then we have the whole historical aspect of what they're covering here. So it should be very interesting to see what James has to say about it, and also be interesting to see how exactly they went about making this, because that's something I was very curious about, considering, you know, the subject matter of the movie. But before we get into it, though, please check all those links I have for you down in the description below. More specifically, Dead Meat's link if you haven't already. It's a great way to support the entire Dead Meat team, and a great and easy way to support me. So go right below this video and click all those buttons down there, because I want to let you see future reactions that I do, but also helps my channel to grow. And without any further ado, let's go.
Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies and show you how they were made. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at As Above, So Below, released in 2014. As Above, So Below is a found footage film that came out during the subgenre's peak. After Paranormal Activity, it felt like every other 2010s horror movie was done in that style.
True.
As such, it was difficult for any one of them to stand out, but As Above managed to because of its setting. It takes place and was actually freaking filmed in the catacombs of Paris. If you're
Really?
unaware, Paris has almost 200 miles of tunnels beneath the city that are filled with the bones of 6 million dead folk. It was made—
Yeah, so that was one thing I was curious about, whether they actually went down there or they try to recreate it themselves. I'm happy that they went down there, but I'm not sure. Do they need? I'm curious if they needed something to be able to film down there, or if they were even allowed to.
Made and filled in the late 18th century, but nowadays functions as a tourist attraction, though only about a mile is open to the public. It's one of the coolest things I've ever learned about, and is near the top of my travel wish list. Aside
Same.
from the setting, the movie's fine, I guess. It's as much an adventure flick as it is a horror movie. It feels a lot like Tomb Raider, Indiana Jones, The Da Vinci Code, the Brendan Fraser Mummy, those kinds of films. Lots of puzzle solving and treasure hunting and uncovering historical secrets.
I love
the
stuff
acting
like that,
is solid, especially from the two leads, who really sell their expertise in the subject matter. It's also got a ton of awesome visuals, including a few that were done practically in impressive ways. In the end, though, the parts feel like they add up to a lesser whole. Things just sort of happen, and then before you know it, the movie's over. I don't mind the dumb silliness behind all the scavenging for clues. I think it makes sense for a movie like this.
Yes.
I just wish it all came together in the end to something more. But at least I wasn't bored watching it. If you want a cool-looking, found-footage horror version of Tomb Raider, you've got it right here. Just
Absolutely.
don't expect anything more than that, and you should have a fine enough time.
Yeah, I can't describe the movie any better than that.
How many explorers?
Oh,
Sorry, one second.
oh, someone fixed the bell.
Attention, Count 9 shoppers. Have you been struggling to find medical care? Are you only finding doctors with a 6-month wait list? Did you finally find a
Oh,
doctor?
it sounds
or did you be told
like-
they're actually unavailable for new patients.
Like it's over
Then
the
Count 9
intercom
is
at a
happy to direct
supermarket.
shoppers to today's sponsor, ZocDoc.
That's clever.
ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors and click to instantly book. ZocDoc offers over 100,000 doctors that you can filter based on your needs and schedule based on their actual appointment openings. All right there for you to see. And these appointments aren't locked behind a glass case of month-long waits. In fact, you can typically be seen in just 24 to 72 hours. Now, I know what you're thinking. That all sounds great, but how does it make sense that you're selling it at a superstore, right? Like, isn't this whole bit a little contrived? Well, listen to me here, okay?
Oh,
Take that up with corporate.
oh,
Stop struggling to find doctor's
Okay.
appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/killcount to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/killcount. ZocDoc.com/killcount. How many explorers will get killed in these catacombs? Let's find out and get to the kills.
quite a few.
The movie begins with footage shot by archaeology professor Scarlett Marlowe. She's a regular Indiana Jones, sneaking into Iran in the name of discovery. She's a real go-getter and risk-taker. If she's caught, the penalty is death.
But I'd have to catch catch me first.
A dude named Riza guides her to a cave system that's about to be demolished. You can tell by the scary alarm noises. That means Scarlett's gonna have to act fast. She finds an ancient artifact and, like the British person she is, takes a hammer to it. But not to take home with her and stick in a museum. It's to reveal a little cubbyhole with the extra special secrets. Like the Wall Street Bowl?
The rose key.
Oh, it's the Rose Key. As the countdown to destruction
that.
continues, she spends every last second recording the symbols on the statue. She takes off as the demo team begins, stopped only momentarily by a ghastly vision, twistin' in the wind. Then they set the explosives free, and now she's sighing on the ground, the wind knocked out of her. But she survives thanks to Riza. Knew that guy wasn't nothing to fuck with. He warns her to be more careful in her pursuit of knowledge, reminding her that a similar quest made her father go crazy.
My father wasn't crazy.
Everyone who hunts for Flamel's stone is crazy. They all wind up dead.
The footage picks up later with Scarlett filmed by her cameraman Benji. He asks about her research and that stone Riza mentioned, the Philosopher's Stone, or the Sorcerer's Stone if you're American. Either way, it's a mythical item sought after by alchemists.
It's an elusive substance that could turn base metals into gold and can provide the key to eternal life.
Damn, dude, that's better than a chug jug. Scarlett's father dedicated his life to finding the stone, but died before he could. Scarlett's determined to finish what he started, which is why she and Benji are in Paris. That's the home of the stone's creator. Say it with Hermione, everyone.
Nicholas Flamel.
According to her dad's research, the stone could be found following clues inscribed on Flamel's tombstone. She needed the Rose Key to translate the text into Aramaic, but that's not one of the 6 languages she knows.
Luckily, I know a guy who does.
Since Tom Hanks isn't available, Scarlett hits up
Tom
George
Hanks
for help Da Vinci decoding. He's the kind of guy who sneaks into churches to fix old clocks for fun, but looks like they caught him at a bad chime.
Whatever it is, I want nothing to do with
chime.
it.
Damn, man, rough breakup?
Did she mention to you the last time we were together, I literally wound up in a Turkish prison?
Surely you can't be serious. Prison or not, George is
Don't
still
call me Shirley.
clearly crushing on Scarlett. Hell, they might have even kissed again if the bells hadn't started chiming. Talk about a clock block. He agrees to help, so they head to the tombstone and he starts his translating. It doesn't seem very fruitful at first.
Lime.
Sword is lime.
Sword is lime.
Aside from the lime of it all. But together, the puzzlers figure out there might be more written on the back of this very valuable ancient— Yo, hold up there! Easy, Tombstone Raiders! With some cleaning chemicals and a bit of fire. Scarlett reveals a hidden message. Ah, look at these two lovebirds. Solving riddles, doing science. Yeah, science! The movie does a great job showcasing Scarlett's skills and knowledge. And recklessness, which isn't great for the people helping her.
You don't want to breathe this in.
George translates the new inscription, and Scarlett surmises the stone is 370 feet below Flamel's tomb, halfway between his burial and the mythic gates of hell. In most places, getting that far underground would be impossible, but they're in Paris, baby! There's a whole system of catacombs beneath their feet. The tunnels don't run under Flamel's burial site, but historic street collapses indicate there may be a hidden chamber. Now they just need to get there, or rather, Scarlett does. George has boundaries.
I don't go underground.
Scarlett and Benji go on a tour of the Bone Zone to see what they're working with. Oh man, I want to visit this place so bad.
Same.
Maybe surprising. It's basically Bastard Skelly HQ. They find out the public tunnels don't go where they need to.
We need to find a way into the off-limits area of the catacombs.
Well, good thing this random French dude gives them a tip. He says to go to a nightclub and ask for a guy named Papillon. Hey, thanks, man. Okay, keep going. The trio heads to the club where Benji spots a real looker, as in she won't stop looking at him. Some real VHS vibes from this chick, especially when he sees her continuing to stare through the window. Amidst the Eurotrash euphoria, they find Papillon, who's skeptical of their request.
No, sorry, do I look like a tour guide to you?
Do I look like a tourist?
They tell him the sitch and promise him half the treasure they may find. That gets him to agree, and he assembles his team, a pair of obvious red shirts. I mean, they're so clearly here to pad the numbers. The guy's name is Zed, for Christ's sake. Insert Bruce Willis quote here. The chick's name is Susie, which gives us a Susie and the Banshees reference.
Susie the Banshee.
Yeah, this guy knows. Susie warns George this is a dangerous mission.
If you run out of batteries with no flashlight, you will die.
Not exactly a happy house down there.
No.
They head towards the tunnels while George, very unconvincingly, keeps saying he's not going to go with them.
I'm not coming with you guys. I told you.
While
last time.
still going with them.
I'm leaving you guys in a second.
They get to their tiny, tiny hole of an entrance. Oh god, this is an absolute nightmare. Before they descend, they gear up with pin cams and headlamps, so this can be a proper found footage film. After the success of their other found footage projects, like the Poughkeepsie tapes and the English language rec remake Quarantine, sibling filmmakers John Eric and Drew Dowdle went for a three-peat with a movie set in the Paris catacombs. The found footage aspect was less important to them than the lead character they had been developing, a female female Indiana Jones searching for a hidden relic. Both
True.
of them independently fell in love with separate auditions from Perdita Weeks.
Always sort of partly jokingly said that I wanted to play Lara Croft, so I think
Oh!
this is about as close as I would get.
The movie came together fast, with only 7 months between
She'd
initial
make a pretty damn good Lara Croft after watching this.
pitch and director's cut. For the story, the brothers drew on their love of history and mythology, including Egyptian hieroglyphics, the hell depicted in Dante's Inferno, and the supposed alchemist Nicholas Flamel. They were also inspired by the documentary Touching the Void, which followed a mountaineer who was forced to descend deeper into a large crevasse after falling in. Scarlett begs George to come with them, and during the deliberation, a policeman spears Papillon out of nowhere, by God! It kicks off a scramble that forces everyone, yes, even you, George, into
Yeah,
the tunnel.
George!
He's pissed. Not because he grew up watching The Descent. Turns out his little brother drowned in a cave when they were kids, and he's avoided them ever since. George is played by Ben Feldman, last seen on the kill count in the Friday the 13th reboot, but he'll always be Ginsberg to me. The group wades through waterlogged tunnels and past a bunch of women in white having an a cappella rehearsal.
There is always some weird people down here.
Yeah, I mean, it's creepy, but you can't beat the acoustics. Also, boobs. Wait a minute.
Yep.
Have I seen that conductor before?
Maybe.
Oh yeah, it's Creepy Club Chick. Papillon leads them deeper as the singing echoes through the tunnel like a dramatic diegetic score. He shows them the narrow passage they're supposed to crawl through next, but Benji's got a bone to pick with that plan.
That, man. I'm not climbing over bones.
Scarlett agrees. Her map indicates another tunnel is more direct, but Papillon shuts that shit down. His friend Lataupe, or the Mole, went through that evil tunnel years ago and never came back again. That means their only option is the Tunnel of Tibias. While this bone burrow was real, a fake wall was added to make it even more claustrophobic. Benji tries to purge the fear from his mind, but as he climbs through, he gets stuck and starts to panic. This scene is incredibly stressful to watch. The raw terror in his face and voice combines with the sound of bones crunching all around him and that choir in the background.
Yeah, he absolutely nails it. Like, I don't know what sort of training this guy has, but damn did he make it look like he was in some real trouble.
Why are they singing? Why are they singing this fucking song? Just tell them to shut the fuck up.
As Benji crawls free, the tunnel begins to collapse around him. They pull him out just in time, but find
Poor
that things
Benji.
are getting grave and
He went through so much in this movie.
counters in here. That same evil tunnel they left behind is right in front of them. And that don't make sense.
This is the tunnel. There is no turns.
The only thing to do is keep moving forward. They find Papillon's graffiti tag, even though he claims he's never been in this part of the cave before. Then why is your pap smeared all over the wall, bro? They keep going and find more weird shit, like a piano.
How the hell did they get a piano down there?
Very carefully, I imagine. It looks just like the one George used to play with his brother when they were kids. And in fact, it's the same piano, down to the same broken A4 key. They better leave before anything weirder happens, like, finding a ringing phone. Yeah, right there. Wait, Scarlett, you really gonna answer that?
Yep.
Before she can tell him to remove her from his list, a random dude shows up faster than you can say Hal Ratma. But it's no rat man, it's a mole man, Lataupe, who's apparently just been living down here for years, without any light or soap. At least he's got those inventor goggles, looking like crazy old Maurice. Lataupe says to follow him if they want to get out, sounding like Quaith's prophecy.
The only way out is down.
To go up, they must go down. And down they go, into a really deep hole. On the way down, Benji slips and has another near-death experience. Poor dude can't catch a break.
He
Caught
really
himself,
can't.
though. Just fucked up his hands on the rope while doing so. Originally, the brothers Dowdle planned to film on a set, but discovered it'd be cheaper to use the real deal. As Above, So Below is the first feature film to get permission to shoot in the catacombs. They made use of both the public and off-limits areas. A safety inspection ensured that the tunnels were sturdy and full of breathable air, but the process was still difficult and potentially dangerous.
There's no electricity down there, there's no restrooms down there, there's no cell phones and walkie-talkies don't work. You have nothing down there.
The conditions the characters face match what the cast and crew had to endure, from the cold, damp, and dark to the piles of real human bones.
So the fact that when they were down there, that just adds to the realism of it. Wow.
It's a space that feels like a nightmare.
For 5 weeks, they spent every day 6 stories underground, shooting with a small crew of around 10 people.
If I had to bet, like, they probably felt so great after the movie was over, especially for those who are and can be, claustrophobic. I get claustrophobic from time to time, and I feel like if I had to spend more than a day there, I'd lose my mind.
Included the actors, who lit most of the scenes with their headlamps.
Shooting the catacombs, how amazing, that'd be so fun. That is true for a day or two. And then,
yeah.
on day 15 and on day 25, like it's a very grueling place to shoot day after day.
They had to run around tight tunnels with ceilings so low the crew wore helmets to avoid head injuries.
We'd be watching a monitor running through these spaces, and you just take the hits in your arm instead of your face.
The filmmakers managed to keep their cast in good spirits though, and the conditions give the movie a rough around the edges feel reminiscent of the Blair Witch Project. While passing through a watery chamber, the group hears deafening screams and sees a ghostly little boy. Oh, holy shit, what was that?
The question is not what was that, but who was that?
Yo, mole man, shut your hole, man. At the dead end, but Scarlet spots a scarab and knows they ain't just good for creepy crawly deaths in the mummy. She recognizes it as a key. All they have to do now is remove the right stone, and if they remove the wrong one,
The ceiling will collapse on you and kill you.
no press. Scarlet's dedication to her Lara craft helps her and George pick the right stone and unlock the hidden door. Now it's time to raid that tomb! Inside they find a body, and I've gotta say, guy looks great for having died 700 years ago.
Sure does.
Doesn't look a day over 500. Drop the skincare routine, my man. They still haven't found the stone, but Scarlet has an idea. She tells everyone to switch off their headlamps and be in the dark with this suspiciously well-preserved corpse. It'll be fine. In the darkness, they see light coming up from beneath a pool of water. Scarlet, lacking any kind of self-preservation, hops in the pool and swims.
It sure does.
The others reluctantly follow and find a chamber full of treasure. It's the goddamn Cave of Wonders up in here. But Scarlet doesn't stand next to the piles and hold Z. She moves past them and turns her attention towards an engraving on the wall. There, serving as a depiction of the sun, is the Philosopher's Stone.
There's a place to hide the most valuable stone ever known, the next to riches you could never miss.
Too bad Pap and Pals are being a bunch of aboos and trigger a trap. The ceiling collapses, bloodying Zed's nose, battering Susie, and burying Latope. They try to uncover him, but that's a big Lanope. The ceiling collapse was one of the few set pieces filmed on a stage, for obvious reasons, along with all the nasty standing water scenes, also for obvious reasons. The group finds themselves with no guide, no water, no medical supplies, and no batteries. But at least Susie's injury ain't all that bad. Just rub a little dirt on it. Or stone. Rub a little Philosopher's Stone on it. It works, completely healing the wound, and Susie the Banshee is entranced, spellbound. Scarlet spots a carving of a door on the ceiling near a symbol. And what's that symbol mean?
As above, so below.
Title symbol!
Hey!
The phrase is believed to be the key to magic in the world. And if the image of a door is on the ceiling above, the real door must be on the floor below. Even though they're already at the bottom of the catacombs, and there should be nothing further beneath them, Scarlet's able to break a hole in the floor. After the water drains out through it, they climb down once more, where they're greeted by a not-so-warm welcome.
Abandon all hope, ye who enter here.
According to Scarlet, that's the inscription written on the gates of hell. Hell yeah! This inscription over the gates of hell appears in Inferno, the first part of Dante's epic poem Divine Comedy. Inferno tells the story of Dante journeying through the 9 circles of hell, guided by the Roman poet Virgil. Dante and Virgil are mirrored by Scarlet and George, respectively, while Latope represents souls stuck in limbo. In fact, the movie is packed with references to Inferno, from the imagery of wells to the themes of guilt and sin. A notebook they looked at earlier shows 9 layers to it. And most relevant of all is the idea that to escape, they must keep climbing down. So that's what they do, climbing into the upside down. No Vecnas down here though, just disappearing doors and another pool of water, one with a
Nothing
spooky strobe
strange.
light. The group may have
everything's
abandoned all
strange,
hope, but they regain a Latope. He's waiting for them with a way less fresh looking corpse. I mean, I guess they did break the seal. Dude's looking like a browning avocado. Susie tries to speak to Latope, but he freaks out like he's got the rage virus and slams her to the ground. She gets straight up mauled by that mole as he smashes her face into the stone floor. Scarlet tries to heal her with the stone, but it's too late. You can't bring back the dead. Man, magic can never bring back the dead. As they continue, George realizes they've traveled 1,000 feet underground, and they have to keep going even deeper, rappelling down another hole. Benji's the last to go, but hesitates when he hears someone creeping around. Ah, shit, it was the girl from the club. He's really starting to fall for her. That is. Scarlet is more devastated than Gail Weathers by the loss of her cameraman, but she has to keep going and push through her grief and a bunch of bones. George sees a vision of his brother buried beneath the bones and tries to reach him until Scarlet snaps him back to reality. They follow the sound of screams to a holy shit, a burning car? The ghostly teen sitting in the back seat looks like the kid that first gave Scarlet Papillon's name. Papillon screams over and over that it wasn't his fault, but the burning ghost of his apparent friend again begs to differ. He pulls Papillon into the inferno, and the car crumples in on itself. Fuck yeah, that was awesome!
Yes,
All
it
that's
was.
left are Papillon's legs sticking out of solid stone. They try to pull him out, but come on, guys.
Nice
Papillon's
done.
Papillon. This car was actually hauled down to the catacombs in real life, in a
Really?
specially selected section where they could do practical pyrotechnics. To pull it off safely, they brought down ventilation systems and waited to light it on fire until just before shooting. Director
That's very smart.
John Dowdle wanted to make sure it would be safe for the stuntman, so he tested it on himself first.
Tested it on myself first to make sure we weren't going to torch someone. And, sat in the car.
Yeah,
and lit
torch
it up.
yourself.
The three remaining explorers can't turn back, so they carry on, even if they can't keep calm. Zed especially is freaking out. Dude, just be happy you're still alive. Definitely didn't expect him to outlast Papillon. George decides
True.
now's as good a time as any for a romantic confession.
Whatever happens, the week in Turkey is the greatest week of my life.
Wait, the week before prison, or the week in prison? But hey, a Turkish jail is probably better than this hall of horrors featuring
Yes!
stone-faced walls and this roby motherfucker. When they try to hide from the shadowy figure, the faces come out of the walls and turn into screeching monsters. One of them takes a chunk out of George's neck, and when
By
Scarlet
God!
tries to fix it with the stone, it doesn't work. Yo, what the hell, Flamel? This thing only works like a third of the time? Scarlet remembers the instructions to find the stone mentioned something about rectification. She realizes she swiped the wrong rock and decides to go all the way back to get the right one and save George. Wait, are you serious? Dude,
Yep.
it's like so far back. But like someone playing a video game with crappy level design, Scarlet doubles back and runs
Freaking
the whole hellish
backtracking in video games, man. It's the worst.
obstacle course in reverse. At least it gives us this moment when she punches a demon in the face.
Bam!
Get out of my way! She finds the chamber that was full of water, now a river of blood and grabby hands. I don't know why it's like this, but it looks cool and scary, which I could basically say about the entire movie. They
Yep.
give Scarlet a makeover befitting her name and leave her looking like Mia at the end of Evil Dead, or like Sarah at the end of The Descent. Yeah, that's probably more apt.
Yeah.
The blood in the scene was
I agree.
actually thick raspberry syrup, and while shooting it, Perdita Weeks had to be coated with KY jelly to keep the syrup from dyeing her skin pink.
So I was also covered in lube.
She smelled fantastic.
She finds other demonic decor changes as well. There are mouths poking through the stone, and even a jump scare with her own face. It's positively penny dreadful, but Scarlet manages to return the stone. There, I'll bet her now. Except, where's the real stone? There's nothing else here, besides a dirty little mirror where she can see her dirty little face. A revelation hits her, and she repeats the words, as above, so below. Scarlet runs back to save George, but on the way is stopped by a ghostly vision of her dead dad. She blames herself for not picking up the phone when he called her the night he died, thus that catacomb
Yeah, the
fled
phone,
call
yep.
from earlier. She gives her phantom father a hug and apologizes for not being there for him, after which he vanishes. Oh, snap! She's been rectified, motherfucker!
Yeah!
She's fessed up to the action she felt most ashamed of. That means she now has the power of the Philosopher's Stone. Turns out it's been inside her the whole time. The power, not the stone. I don't want to pass that. She gets to
Nope.
George and brings him back from the edge of death with true love's kiss. Aw, that's nice. But no
Yeah.
time to keep romancing the stone. They've got to get the hell out of hell. The trio reaches one last hole, and it's like your mom's. It's way too deep.
Oh, bird!
But before they do, George and Zed need to do what Scarlet did and rectify by admitting what they feel guilty about. It's Silent Hill rules, but also Inferno rules. Dante wrote in the poem that the only way to escape the torment of hell is to confess your sins and atone for them. George admits he feels responsible for his brother's death because he got lost while trying to find help. Oh man, you were just a kid. You shouldn't feel guilty about that. Zed, how about you?
I have a child I've never seen. I know it's mine, but I did not eat.
Okay, yeah, see George? That's culpable. We can piece
Yes, it
together that
is.
Papillon was responsible for a car crash that killed his friend and left his hands burned. We saw them earlier when they were still above ground. Benji may have been lustful or something, seeing as how that one chick kept making eyes at him. Oh, and Susie? I don't know. Maybe she didn't pay a parking meter or something? With their sins confessed, they jump down, and at the bottom of the pit, they find a manhole. George and Scarlet try to pull the cover up, but it won't budge. They have to push it down and out of the way. When they do, they see the night sky below them. Or above them? You know what I mean. They climb down, then up onto the streets of Paris. The shell-shocked survivors share a group hug, and Zedby Dad leaves to, hopefully call that kid he abandoned. Yeah, man, I really can't believe that dude made it out alive. The movie ends with a clip from Scarlett's direct-to-camera talk with Benji, where she said she wasn't trying to find the stone for financial gain.
So you simply want the truth.
Exactly. Yeah, I want the truth.
Whether she likes it or not, she definitely found some truth down there.
Uh-huh.
How many adventurers met their doom down in this ancient tomb? Oh, I actually don't know. How could I possibly find out? A clue.
Ooh.
I think there's something on the back of this. There is. To find out just how many died, open the gates and look inside. Walk through the dark where evil slumbers. Let's find out.
Get to the numbers! That's probably one of my favorite lead-ins to the numbers.
Only 3 people died in As Above, So Below, with the victims consisting of 2 men and 1 woman, giving us this mostly sacre bleu pie chart. We've seen this kind of breakdown 7 times before, first in Nightmare 5 and most recently in The Exorcist. With a runtime of 93 minutes, As Above, So Below had a kill on average every 31 minutes. I'll give the Golden Chainsaw for coolest kill to Papillon. Not only does it feature the practical flaming car, but that effect of it blinking out of existence made me yell aloud and clap.
Oh yeah.
Double shade for lamest kill goes to Susie. It's not bad per se, but I prefer the suddenness of Benji's fall. And that's it.
Same.
As Above, So Below was released in 2014 to largely negative reviews, but has gained a vocal fan base in the year since its release. Until next time, I'm James A. Janice. This has been the Kill Count.
On the next Kill Count.
Consider this your invitation to the annual Blackwood Winter
Oh,
Getaway.
Until Dawn. Okay.
Party like we're fucking porn stars.
The date? 1 year after a tragic prank gone wrong.
This is super awkward, and we all know it.
It's just a
The place,
prank.
a spooky lodge on a possibly cursed snowy mountain.
Are we going crazy down here?
The guests? You and your best frenemies. Plus, a cabin in the woods worth of horror cliches.
Are we like in a movie right now?
Take control of 8 different teenage meatbags as they
Ah,
fight to
meatbags.
survive.
Till dawn. Until dawn.
Figure out what's happening by gathering clues and collectibles.
Oh man, look at this.
But be careful, because your decisions have consequences down the line.
Boom, butterfly effect.
Yes, it's dialogue, choice, or die. And there are so many ways to die.
Uh-huh.
Well, that certainly didn't go according to plan, now did it?
So this week, invite some people you hate to come and play Until Dawn.
Sure. You say so.
Then on Friday, make the choice to watch the kill count only on Dead Meat.
I'm afraid we're out of time. We'll talk again soon.
Until Dawn can be played on the picture gaming platforms.
Oh
Heavy
yeah,
Dollars recommends.
that game is fantastic. But this movie I was pleasantly surprised about because, as I said, when it comes to found footage horror movies, a lot of them tend to be the same, and it doesn't really make much sense at times why they're holding the camera or whatever. But they made sense because they put it into their little on top of that little light thing or whatever. So they can see all their perspectives, which I thought was pretty interesting. The scares were good. The fact that they filmed in the freaking catacombs is absolutely incredible. I've never really heard of that to be a thing. I would have figured that whole place would be off limits to film in, but apparently they were able to find some places to film. I do not envy anybody who had to stay down there for as long as they did. That sounds like an absolute nightmare to me, as the director said, or maybe it was somebody else. But they said that, for a day or two it's fine, but then after that, it's not great. And what was it, the 15 days I think they said that they filmed down there for that. That is just absolutely unbelievable. Like, I couldn't even imagine being down there for that long. So kudos to everybody involved for making this movie. Everything from in front of the camera to behind the camera. They did a fantastic job. I love the tomb raiding aspect of it, the Philosopher's Stone. I thought that was a very interesting inclusion here. And yeah, it was a lot of fun to watch. Scares around every corner. You never really expect anything. Never really expect them to happen, but they do, and it's great. I felt so bad for Benji, though. Like I said, there were so many times where he had a close encounter with death, but eventually fell to his death. So I guess that sort of suffering and torture is over for that character. And that will do it for me here. Comment down below. Let me know, what did you think about As Above, So Below? Please leave a like if you enjoyed it. Check all those links I have for you down in the description below. And maybe it's above. No, definitely below. And most importantly, though, I want to give a huge shout out to all my $5 and up supporters on Patreon: Luchador, Cruising, Wolver 310, Kester Kronich, Roadrunner 1967, Chris Curtis, Vox Goffany, Fleecery Vicomp, Christopher Banyard, Songbird 177, Inkalinquist, Chris Chapin, MB Cardall, Harmony, I Love You 3000, Something Else, Ben M, 20 Owl, The True Sunny Hero, and Satya Maraj. And if you too like to have a shout out in each and every one of my videos, please head on over to patreon.com/Reactor for more. And I'll see you guys next time.